welcome to Championship Wrestling 83. I'm Gordon Soley, your host. And what has now become his specialty, and that's that airplane spin. We have a great hour of wrestling upcoming for you, and a very, very unusual Take 5, Barbara Clary.
That's right. It concerns Johnny Carson, Rocky II, and more importantly, the immense Hulk Hogan.
All right, that's upcoming, and buddy, a lot of great action in this next hour.
Oh, yes. Well, one Sunday big news for Lakeland, which has been voted the Wrestling City of the Year in Florida. On October 15th, there's going to be some big matches coming your way in Lakeland, so don't miss them. Also, the beginning of a new era in professional wrestling for Tampa, Florida. The new era begins October 11th, Tuesday night at the Sun Dome at USF in Tampa, Florida, and that's going to be a place for professional wrestling.
Yeah, by the way, October 11th is Dusty Rhodes' birthday, too. I was asking about it. He told me on the 11th. I said, what year? That he refused to tell me. So maybe we'll be able to get the folks out there on the 11th to find out what year.
Well, let's hope so.
Okay. And I want to take a moment right now to welcome to Championship Wrestling 83, Mike Davis. The young man, I had the pleasure of watching him in his very first professional match. He's come a long, long way. But you sure ran into more than your share of problems with this J.J. Dillon.
Yeah, you know, Gordon, I thought that J.J. Dillon was the manager around here, but you know, on the Bayfront last Saturday night, J.J. Dillon came out with his own manager. He came out with gentleman Jim Holiday, Cheap Shot Holiday. Well, Holiday, I'm going to tell you one thing. Gordon, we got a piece of tape that I think that we ought to take a look at right now, and the tape's going to tell the story.
All right, let's go to the closing moments of this New Jersey street fight between Mike Davis and J.J. Dillon. And obviously, at this point in time, you had things pretty well in control here.
I feel like I had J.J. Dillon beat right here, Gordon. You know, this is an anything-goes type of match. I've never been in a match like this before, but I knew that I had to come in fighting and, you know, be fired up, and I wanted to beat J.J. Dillon. And, of course, now you can see the worm running around out there, Holiday. You know, everybody around here is starting to call him Cheap Shot, and I think that's a good name for him because that's exactly what he is. You know, right here I've got the best of J.J. Dillon. Like I said, Gordon, this is an anything-goes type of match. That means I can use anything I want to. He can use anything he wants to. He pulled the belt out on me, so I just pulled it out on him. You can tell right here I'm heavily lacerated already. And you know, this is late into the match, and we're both beat down pretty well, but I still feel like I had the upper hand.
Now you can see Holiday on the outside offering some sort of encouragement to J.J. Dillon, and Dillon back to his feet. You're coming back to your feet now, and Dillon uncorks a hard right hand to the head that puts you back down on the canvas.
He's got his boot in his hand right there, Gordon, but, you know, I couldn't say anything about that because this is the type of match it was. But you can see what I'm going to do right here. If he's going to use a boot, I'm going to use a boot. You know, that's my philosophy, fight fire with fire. And I just came right back on him, hit him in the stomach there with a boot, and here I go to town on him.
Okay, Dillon is down now, and as we said, of course, the New Jersey street fight, anything goes. Mike Davis up on that top rope, down under the head of J.J. Dillon, and well, I'll tell you what.
Right there it is, Gordon. There's no way that man should have been interfering here. I go out, I lost my head, which I shouldn't have done, and you can see what he does right there behind the referee's back. He throws me into the post, and he's going to roll me in the ring here, and Gordon, right after this, I just blacked out. I didn't even know where I was. And, you know, Holiday, this I just, you know, there's no need in this, and right here it cost me the match, Gordon, and it's just, I'm madder than I've ever been in my life.
Okay, J.J. Dillon getting the pinfall, but not without the outside interference of one, quote, a gentleman, Jim Holiday. And I can't say that I blame you for wanting a rematch with Dillon. And from what you told me just before we went on the air, you'd like to see Mr. Holiday down some wrestling.
That's right. J.J. Dillon, I will get you in a return match. And Holiday, if you've ever had a pair of tights put on in your life, brother, I want to see you in them, and I want to see you in the ring with me, and we're going to get down like you've never got down before, brother.
Thank you so very much. Mike Davis, a very self-made family blackjack mulligan that certainly bears relating to all of you who are not at the Bayfront.
Well, you know, Garden Blackjack Mulligan is the head of our family. And down home in Texas, you know, there's people that live together with their brothers or sisters or whatever, and they are part of the family. Texans are of a different breed. They're of a different light. They You can tell in the way they play football, you know, that there's a family there, atmosphere there. You can tell the way they go out and party down, the way they go to church, and the way they go to school, that families are important to a Texan. And Blackjack Mulligan, being the head of the family for many years, has stood against all obstacles. He stood against all kind of thunderstorms, all kind of rain and hail and damnation, but never faltered or never failed. And now this revolutionary movement in our ranks, God and soul, I've never seen before, and I've been here a good while with you. I have never seen a revolutionary movement that's going on right now. Jimmy Holiday, or might I say J.J. Dillon, Zambu Express, and Abdul the Butcher the Animal. And I know for a fact that last week right here in the Brass Knucks Championship of the World, state of Florida, falls anywhere, you're going to see what happened. Blackjack Mulligan, Kareem Mohammed. You see right here, Kareem Mohammed Garden right here gets tossed out of the ring. Blackjack Mulligan is heavily lacerated. Kareem Mohammed may be the awesome power behind this thing. I don't know, it might be Elijah Keem, might be J.J. Dillon, but you can see right here that falls count anywhere in the building, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the stratosphere in a Brass Knucks match. And you see right here, they're going out the back door, out into the parking lot, and the psychedelic cameramen and the psychedelic people sitting there, and the psychedelic commentators are going to go out to the parking lot and see this thing transpire. Because anytime Blackjack Mulligan has a chance right here, one-on-one, you see him into the old pickup, man. This is like down in Waco, Texas, or in Austin, Texas, or out in Oak Hill, Texas. Right here, you see him throwing out toolbox. Look at here, Elijah Keem going drastic. Actually, people, the rat jumps on his back right there. You see him right there on his back garden.
Cheap Shot Holiday.
Cheap Shot Holiday. That's a great name. Mike Davis got it. And right here, Mulligan dispenser him. But you're going to see out of the blue, Kareem Mohammed take the knucks out. Nail Blackjack Mulligan with him. Right here, they're going to tie him to the trio wall. They tied him to a telephone pole in downtown Tampa, Jackson Brown. And here comes Elijah Keem. Optimism as he is, whatever, and they're working on him. This will not go unpaid for. This will not go unpaid for. And right after that happened, very shortly, Gordon, as you were saying a while ago, in the Bayfront Center, Blackjack Mulligan now has been off for a couple days because of some fractured ribs. When once again, Kareem Mohammed and Elijah Keem took it upon themselves to come with the devastation of this revolutionary movement in wrestling. Abdul the Butcher, Kareem Mohammed, and Elijah Keem. And I know they got this thing in an interview with a very hurt and wounded, but not faltered or failed, Blackjack Mulligan.
I'll tell you what, I know Blackjack Mulligan certainly not as well as you do, Dusty, but I've watched him over the years, and he has certainly achieved a very, very high position in the ranks of professional wrestling. He has never, as you said, turned his back on anyone. He has never turned down any opportunity to go into that field of combat.
God, you know, not to interrupt what you say about achieving a certain status, as Buddy knows in wrestling is one thing, but achieving that same status in life is what it's all about. You understand? That's what it's all about. So now what we get to know, Buddy knows too, there's a lot of guys on the street, right, Buddy? A lot of guys on the street say, I want to be a wrestler. I can beat this man and I can beat that man. But they become snotty-nosed brats. They become snotty-nosed kids because it's the greatest profession in the world today, the most violent, and Blackjack Mulligan is the head of the family, and this revolutionary movement will cease to exist. And you'll see if they have to take my man and how wounded he is, but not faltered or failed.
Let's take a look at Blackjack Mulligan.
Zambu Express. You probably figure that this is the end of my career, that for once and for all, that you've finally finished Mulligan off. Even with these broken ribs, as I sit here, a pain with every breath, you've underestimated your opponent, my friend. Because in the Sun Dome, even the Abdullah the Butcher is not going to save you, Kareem. Jimmy Holiday doesn't have enough brains or knowledge or education to think up anything that can possibly help you. Because, brother, the more you hurt me, the meaner and tougher I get. And the main thing in my life is to finish the revolution. Quit is not in our vocabulary. The family may be tied up, but, brother, I'm going to tell you something. Help will be coming from somewhere. And, Kareem, I will finish you if it's the very last thing I do in my life.
Some pretty heavy commentary from Blackjack Mulligan, the head of the family. Dusty, stay with me. We've got another matchup coming with the Zambui Express. We'll be back with that match in a moment. Blackjack and Dusty are going to get their chance to settle that score.
Boy, are they ever. You know, on October 15th at the Lakeland Civic Center, the match to see, one that I'm going to be there in person to see myself, is Dusty Rhodes and Blackjack Mulligan going up against Elijah Akeem and Kareem Mohammed in a tape fist match where falls count anywhere in the building. And Gordon, I'll assure you, that's one that I don't think anybody wants to miss. That's going to really separate the men from the boys.
It is indeed. I might also point out that a contract has been signed now, and a very special stipulation in this. The title can change hands on a disqualification. Mike Rotundo defending the Southern Championship against Cowboy Ron Bass. Also, Barry Windham has signed to a bunkhouse match with Joe LeDuc, and in a $5,000 body slam contest, Big Daddy, 6'5", 450 pounds, going up against a newcomer, Man Mountain Mark. And there's a 375-pounder. And Mike Davis is wondering about a return match. He's got it, a return New Jersey street fight with J.J. Dillon. Johnny Rich, the cousin of Tommy Rich, takes on Hector Guerrero. Sam Houston faces Dr. X. And Dusty, let me just wish you the very, very best on that match.
Well, Garden, CWF done it again. Lakeland Civic Center falls anywhere in the building. It's going to be a tremendous night. But right now, I'm looking forward to seeing this match, the Zambui Express.
All right, let's go to the ring at this time. We've got the Zambui Express's opponents in the ring, waiting now for the arrival of gentlemen. Well, Cheap Shot Holiday is about the
Cheap
best.
Shot is right, Jack.
And there you see it, Elijah Akeem and Kareem Mohammed moving into the ring, and our referee is Bill Alfonso. This is an Australian tag team match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the corner to the left, then, in the green trunks, is Tony D'Amato. Stepping outside the ring, Tommy Wright. In the corner to the right is the Zambui Express, Elijah Akeem and Kareem Mohammed.
Well, right here it looks like Kareem Mohammed is really trying to make short work of Tony D'Amato. He's just not giving this man any kind of a chance at all. So far, there's been absolutely no wrestling, just pure violence. And Elijah Akeem coming in, and it really doesn't look like Tony D'Amato is going to be able to function very well here.
Brother, he caught him coming off the ropes, had him with like a lariat. D'Amato has had no opportunity whatsoever, buddy. He has been totally overwhelmed since the ringing of that bell.
Well, I think Tony D'Amato needs to say a prayer and try to get to his corner and tag out and get Tommy Wright in there, because Tony D'Amato is absolutely helpless. Fortunately, he made a tag to his partner, Tommy Wright, but it seemed like Tommy Wright's not doing a whole lot better.
You see here, God, this is the most, people don't understand, this is the most awesome revolutionary movement I've ever seen in my life. These two men right here, along with Abdul the Butcher. And as you see, Tommy Wright don't have a childless chance in a laundry store in San Francisco. I mean, this thing has gotten out of hand. These guys are awesome, man. They are truly awesome.
And they have a very clever way of double teaming, as you just saw. And Wright firing back gamely, but with little or no effect. Kareem Mohammed and Elijah Akeem continue to completely dominate the situation. And periodically you can see the head of Cheap Shot Holiday at the bottom of your screen as he continues to shout encouragement to his Zambui Express. There you see him. Mike Davis wants him in a pair of trunks.
Well, you know, I have to agree with Dusty Rhodes. We said this is an awesome tag team. For the many years I traveled around the world wrestling, I don't think I have ever witnessed a tag team more awesome and devastating than the Zambui Express. This team, they're not even out to just wrestle. They're out to injure and cause permanent disability to their opponents.
Ripping across the eyes of Tony D'Amato has him in more trouble now as they close in once again. Elijah Akeem Catches him with the elbow. The tag is made. And the Zambui Express has just...
Overpowering, man.
They have indeed. D'Amato fired to the midsection, had absolutely no effect. Back to the basics there, good back leg trip. And that's the thing, Dusty, they do combine a lot of wrestling as well.
Like I say, they're awesome. It's a revolutionary movement. It's got to be stopped. It's awesome. It's powerful. It's two of the biggest men in wrestling, and it's two men that have... Oh, my. That's got to be it, Godden.
That is it, no question.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Didn't allow the pin. Did not allow the pin. Now makes the tag. Kareem Muhammad. D'Amato was beaten, no question about it.
I'm telling you. Oh, man, come on. Put the guy down.
Well, they are going a little bit too far here, Gordon. They could have beat this man a long time ago. Now with the Zambui Express on there. And,
well, mercifully, they allowed the pin. Dusty was complaining about the fact that they weren't allowing the pin, but he finally did. And it is Abdullah the Butcher after Dusty Rhodes. Ooh. Abdullah the Butcher catching him with an Asiatic spike, and it is Rhodes down, and the Zambui Express in the ring, having gotten rid of D'Amato, and wait a minute, they've rolled Dusty Rhodes in there, and it is Abdullah the Butcher after Jim Holiday. It's Abdullah the Butcher now after Holiday. Meanwhile, the Zambui Express is after Dusty Rhodes in just a second. J.J. Dillon just backed up Abdullah the Butcher. J.J. Dillon backed up Abdullah the Butcher. Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo, Mike Davis, and a host of others in there with Dusty Rhodes. But it was J.J. Dillon who broke it up with Abdullah the Butcher. We'll be back. Our corner with the red trunks from Texas, Sam Houston. And also in the near corner in the black trunks, also from Pampas, Texas, at 280 pounds, Cowboy Ron Bass. One fall, 10-minute time limit.
well, here's Ron Bass and Sam Houston going out, circling one another. Seems like right here early in the match, he's trying to feel each. Well, there's a very smart move on the part of Sam Houston, reversal on a big forearm coming off the ropes. Right now, I think Sam Houston, rather than laying back, should have charged right in, perhaps taking a headlock or a front face lock on Cowboy Ron Bass.
Bass misses with a right hand. Houston slipped away. Houston, a heady young competitor. He is utilizing his strategy well, and Dillon, realizing that Bass was getting frustrated, suddenly over there offering further commentary to Cowboy Ron Bass. You know, buddy, it was really interesting. Abdullah the Butcher had obviously gone out of control, was attacking Cheap Shot Holiday, and it was J.J. Dillon who suddenly restored order in that respect.
Quite interesting, Gordon, quite interesting. It really is quite a situation. Whereas a matter of record, Gentleman Jim Cheap Shot Holiday is the manager. However, he has absolutely no control over Abdullah the Butcher, and out comes J.J. Dillon to restore order, to pull Abdullah off of Jim Holiday. There's a lot here that really doesn't make sense.
Or maybe it makes too much sense.
Absolutely. We'll perhaps have to get an opinion from J.J. Dillon on this sometime.
J.J. Dillon making the comment that school is now open, and I think he's referring to Cowboy Ron Bass beginning to dominate the situation with Mike Sam Houston. Atomic knee drop, and Sam Houston in trouble now. And I think that's what Mr. Dillon was referring to, that the lesson is about to be taught.
Well, I don't think Ron Bass should underestimate Sam Houston. From what I've seen at the beginning of this match, Sam Houston kind of had Ron Bass amazed and befuddled. He was out moving Ron Bass. However, Sam Houston cannot try and outpower Ron Bass. He's too big and too strong. He's a young Raw. Well, here's an abdominal stretch. This abdominal stretch, this is a submission hold. This can be a very painful hold. Well, he's not. He's just holding it on there, beating him in the rib cage.
Cowboy Ron Bass very definitely in complete charge here now. A forearm across the lumbar area of the back.
Well, right now there's a devastating neck breaker. This here is also a pinning combination. This could very well be the end of the match. But Sam Houston able to kick out from under it. You can't count this young man down until you hear that 3 count, so he can still do something. And here's Ron Bass. Oh, here's a good move on the part of Sam Houston, coming right back with a big, hard, smashing forearm upside the head of Ron Bass.
Tremendous second effort here on the part of Mike Sam Houston. A series of good forearms and arm whip into the far corner. Bass catches him rolling in, however, and it is Bass once again back in control. But brother Sam Houston certainly showed a lot of fight, good second effort, but down across that rope, he partially blocked it, but it still had its effect on him.
That's right. When you get that throat dropped across that top rope, supply, and when that air supply is cut off, you can't think properly. Your muscles don't function properly, and Cowboy Ron Bass is in pretty good control right now. But like I said earlier, let's not count Mike Sam Houston out until it's over. Right now he has a double front chin lock on Mike Sam Houston. This is not a submission hold. However, this does slow down the oxygen flow to the brain, cutting down the blood circulation. Right now, Sam Houston is in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to try and really extricate himself from this, perhaps get to the ropes, get himself a second win. We have J.J. Dillon just walking around here looking quite content, like he's really confident now that his man is going to win this match.
Hey, Bass caught that time by Sam Houston. Sam Houston catches him again. And again, it's Cowboy Ron Bass, though. Running him into that near turnbuckle.
Watch this, JJ.
Full power slam. It's over. It's over. Mike Sam Houston, a game competitor, but just no match for Cowboy Ron Bass. And there you see him, a jubilant J.J. Dillon, and the victor, Cowboy Ron Bass. J.J. Dillon and Cowboy Ron Bass, the former Southern Heavyweight Champion of
Believe me, there is no confusion at this point. Mike Rotundo, they tell me, legitimately can claim the Southern Heavyweight Championship, but it's just a matter of time till we get Rotundo back in the ring and get this situation straightened out.
That's something I want to talk about, JJ. Mike Rotunda, he's a Southern Heavyweight Champion, true enough, but he's going to be around a while. But something I want to talk about is something that's hit me in the hip pocket a little bit, JJ. I just got the financial statements back from the business that myself and the so-called family own, and there's expenses on there for buses, expenses for planes, expenses for trips here, expenses here, there, everywhere, and I got none of it. I want to know where it's been going. I'll tell you where it's been going. You got some thieving, no low-down snacks called Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack Mulligan, and Barry Windham. They're spending my money, so we're going to have to do something about that, JJ. It's time for me to get what's mine. It's time to come back. And I see that filthy Rhodes come running around here. He's got a big, fine saddle. You know, it looks exactly like this. In fact, it is an identical twin to this, and it's true enough. His daddy did give Dusty Rhodes this saddle, or I'll say his saddle, because Dusty Rhodes, you know how I got my saddle, boy, and you know how I'm going to keep it, and you also know how I'm going to get back all the business. Hey, what's those slut nose? Yeah, Rhodes can't come out here. I seen what happened to him.
Listen, Ronnie Bass, listen to me. Listen to me. Hey, I've been sitting back there watching this monitor, listening to you run your mouth, running down my family. Let me say something. I know where this saddle came from. I know the story. My dad knows the story. Dusty knows the story. You know what I want to do? I want to take this saddle back to where it belongs. You know well where it belongs. Think about it, Ronnie.
What do you want to do, boy?
Huh? You know well. Listen, I've been waiting for you to bring this out because it's been waiting and it's been laying in the back.
You want me to put this saddle up against you, boy? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'll wrestle you
ain't
for
got
this
nothing I
saddle.
want,
right
boy.
Here, right now, I'll wrestle you for this saddle.
Hey. You have got something that I would like to have, Wendell. You've got the Florida title, right, boy? Well, let's put it on the line and get in the ring right now.
Ronnie Bass, I'll tell you right now, the Florida title for this saddle.
You know where it goes.
Title match right now, that'd be fantastic.
Come on. Do it.
Well, a hurried conference here with JJ.
This is not the time or the place because Bass just had a very, very tough match. You be quiet right now, Bass. He had a very tough match today, and I don't want him going in here unless I know that he's 100%. I will give you a contract signed by me before this program is over. And right here next week, we will put this saddle on the line against the Florida title in a televised match.
Funny Bass.
You got my word on
Funny
it,
Bass
Lord.
keeps saying that I've got his word. Funny Bass, I've known you all my life. Your worth ain't worth nothing. It's not worth anything. Put it on paper. Come on, put it on paper.
Put it on. I told him I'd give him a contract. Don't get this man riled up. Let me handle this.
Right there, I'll tell you what. Wow. Allegations flying back and forth now, but the bottom line was very simply this. The bottom line was that J.J. Dillon said he would bring a contract before the end of this program, putting that saddle, and I don't know the story behind it, but I'm going to find out, and I'll try and relate it to you next week. But putting the saddle up against the Florida title for a Florida championship match with Barry Windham next week here on TV, that is the bottom line. Right now, we've got the new Southern Heavyweight Champion Mike Rotundo in the ring. He is in the far corner to the left out of Syracuse University, 2 times All-American Mike Rotundo, moving out against Dr. X, 1 fall, a 10-minute time limit. I'll tell you what, I have seen Barry Windham fired up, but he did one thing that it amazed me when he said, man, that Ronnie Bass's word was absolutely worthless. Well, Dusty Rhodes found that out when it cost him the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, he sure did. You know, Gordon, it seems there must really be a lot behind that saddle as to where and how Cowboy Ron Bass acquired that saddle. Seemed like Barry Windham really wants that saddle. He wants it so bad that he is willing to put up the Florida Heavyweight Championship title against the saddle here on TV. Now, what value could that saddle be to Barry Windham, except for some reason seems like he wants to get it back for Dusty Rhodes. I think there's a lot more to the story than meets the eye.
Well, the fact that they're identical saddles, I think therein lies the key, that they are, by Bass's own admission, 2 identical saddles. So apparently there's a very strong family connection here. Rotundo now with a side headlock on Dr. X as he's got him back to the canvas. This is the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Mike Rotundo, and boy, what an athlete.
You know, going back, reiterating once again, it seems like there's a lot of allegations that were being made by Cowboy Ron Bass regarding Dusty Rhodes and the family about them stealing money. I'm sure there is another side to the story also, but right now it does seem like Mike Rotundo is doing quite well against Dr. X. Has a side headlock. As you can see, he has his full body weight leaning back on Dr. X there, just pressing that oxygen from his system. Just really holding on to it.
Off the ropes and a good leapfrog by Rotundo into a standing drop kick that has Dr. X back to the canvas once again. Referee Bill Alfonso watching his man carefully.
Well, it seems like Mike Rotundo is just perpetual motion. This man never stops, never slows down. This shows the conditioning this athlete is in. Right now he has the front chancery on Dr. X. This also is not a submission hold. This is a hold designed to wear the body down. Even this pin here was not really a pinning combination, but the more weight you put on the man's chest, the tireder he's going to become. He's going to use up his energy, expend all energy, trying to get that man off of him. Right now, this can be a punishing hold, but it is not a submission hold, but it will take a lot out of you.
Dr. X driving that shoulder into the midsection of Rotundo, and it caught him off guard and has got Rotundo slowed up, whether it's a momentary, it was just a momentary slow up, and Rotundo has him up in the airplane spin. Rotundo slams him to the canvas, lateral press, hooks the far leg. Count of three, and so Mike Rotundo, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, makes short work of Dr. X. And may I just say that, see if we can't get Mike Rotundo to come on over here for just a second. Well, he's going the opposite way. Maybe I can catch him at ringside.
Looks like the referee is trying to assist Dr. X up back to his feet there. He still seems to be kind of groggy, a little fuzzy there. The cobweb still on his head. And we're having Mike Rotundo has come over here and joined us at the desk.
Well, Mike, certainly congratulations. An excellent match, and you have certainly brought back into being that airplane spin with devastating effectiveness.
You know, Gordon, that's a move that I really work on perfecting, because I know once I get a man up in that position and I give him that good spin, it's very hard to come off the mat. So I've been working on that. I worked on it with the Briscoes in Charlotte. I worked on it in Canada. I worked on it everywhere I've went. And I know if I can perfect that to the point where I can beat any man, such as Ron Bass with it, Joe LeDuc, anyone in this area that's of that nature, that caliber of wrestling, then I know it's a very good move.
No question about it. May I just say that Mike Rotundo has certainly proven to be a fighting champion, that you put that title on the line, and I know, of course, that one match you're particularly concerned about, however, where you could lose it by disqualification. That's a rather unusual situation.
Well, all I can say in that instance with Gordon is I'm not going to let that happen. Because when you go into that ring, if you're on your toes, if you're in a competitive atmosphere that you go into these arenas, you have to be ready, because each and every time I go out as a Southern Heavyweight Champion, I know somebody wants his belt. It means a lot of money, it means a lot of prestige. That's why I'm here, because I want to hang on to this. And I'm going to go in that ring every time and give it all I got.
Well, there's no question about that. He does give 110% at all times. Mike Rotundo, Southern Heavyweight Champion, will be back in just a moment.
A look now at Hulk Hogan. Looking at the Sun Dome, what an event. That's our Take 5 for this week.
From Texas, the Florida Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Barry Windham. His opponent at better than 300 pounds, Big Jim Haley. One fall with television time remaining.
Well, this could prove to be a very interesting match. Jim Haley being over 300 pounds, going up against Barry Windham, who is approximately 240 pounds. And Jim Haley picked Barry Windham up for a very easy body slam there. He's a very powerful man.
Not to interrupt you, buddy Cole Gordon, solely I promised you a signed contract before today's program was over. 1 week from today, televised match, Cowboy Ron Bass, Barry Windham, the saddle versus the Florida title. There's my signature. Now Windham opened his big mouth. It's put up or shut up.
All right, thank you very much. So I have the contract, and it'll be up to, well, I doubt if we'll have time during this hour to find out whether Barry's going to sign it or not. Windham caught him with a lariat. Well, maybe we will have time, buddy.
Right. Well, you know, Barry Windham being a man of his word, I'm quite sure that he will sign that contract.
Well, I've got a pen here, and I've got the contract here. Let's see if Barry, we can get him over here for just a moment. Okay, Barry, here is the contract as promised by, and here's a pen if you wish to sign it.
You know what? I don't believe it. Ronnie Bass, you're finally taking care of business. You're not keeping your word. You had to do this. Let me see. All right. This is what I've been waiting for. This thing's sat in the closet too long, Ronnie Bass. Now we're going to take care of it.
Well, apparently then we are going to find out. Barry, I wanted to ask him about that saddle, but unfortunately, well, we've got the most important thing anyway, is that signed contract right here. So that means that next week here on Championship Wrestling 83, we will have indeed the Florida Heavyweight Champion Barry Windham facing Cowboy Ron Bass. That saddle identical to the one that Dusty Rhodes' father gave to Dusty. It was his father's. That identical saddle on the line against the Florida Heavyweight Championship, and perhaps we'll find out the mystery surrounding that.
It certainly is interesting as to why that saddle is so important. With it being the identical saddle, there must be a lot of sentiment involved with this saddle for so much emphasis to be placed on a saddle, because anyone can go out and buy a saddle. A saddle certainly isn't worth $10,000 cash value. It's certainly not worth the value of the Florida Heavyweight Championship, so there must be a lot to it.
Must be indeed, and of course I'm concerned about another thing too. It certainly sounds to me like Cowboy Ron Bass may be planning on some sort of legal action regarding the family and some of the interests that they own mutually, and that could involve literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in regards to cattle, ranch lands, equipment, and all of that. Cowboy Ron Bass making some very, very serious allegations. I might point out, too, that Dusty has received medical attention. He was pretty badly lacerated by Abdullah the Butcher and the Zambui Express, but I would think that Cheap Shot Holiday and his group may rue the day that they perpetrated that attack upon Dusty Rhodes and the family. On behalf of Barbara Clary and her excellent Take 5 and my good friend Buddy Colt, this would be Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.